Bridgette is a poet and professor from South Central LA. Her first book of poetry, which is called Be Trouble, was released by Writ Large in 2020. She is one half of the literary curating team, South Central Spitfire. And you can find her at bridgettebianca.com. She will also have books available afterwards, but let's make some noise for Bridgette Bianca.
Thank you. There goes the neighborhood. First, they came for our bodies, snatched my nose right off my face, then placed a forearm across my windpipe, clapped a sweaty palm over my mouth, and said the use of force was justified because I insisted on breathing. Maybe it started with the ships. First, they came for our bodies, laid us down like railroad ties, carved a path west on our backs, filled their coffers with gold and our bellies with God and other white men for us to fear. Maybe it started with the ships. First, they came for our bodies. My body looked out of place in that car. How could I afford it? It must be stolen. I was stolen, so they made me pay for it. My body looked out of place in that neighborhood when all along my body was out of place in this country. They uprooted and planted my body here because it was fertile and would yield more crops: cotton, rice, sugar, tobacco, independence from Britain, a more perfect union. Maybe it started with the ships. First, they came for our bodies. I cradled this economy and it nursed at my breast. It continues to reach under my clothing to be pacified and soothed. Never satisfied, this country throws tantrums because I won't bear it all for their profit, forgetting that prisoners cannot consent, and my refusal never stopped them from taking my body before. Maybe it started with the ships. First, they came for our bodies, then they came for this land. Maybe it started with music festivals, extravagant dioramas on stolen grounds where they cosplay in bejeweled bendies and dream catcher earrings and Buddha tattoos and kush and coronas and cocaine, limbs flailing like tattered flags as they dance to the rhythms they beat out of indigenous bodies in boarding schools. The audacity of stars and stripes draped over their shoulders and eagle feathers in their hair. Maybe it started with the ships. Maybe it started with the coffee shop on a corner that's been empty since the riots, the shadow of a mini market where the shopkeeper called elderly black women like my mama, mama. Out of respect and limited English, not of neglect and unlimited anguish, we burned it in effigy. Maybe it started with the ships. Maybe it started with a new boutique with high prices and sparse racks, no layaway in there, no store policy, no habla español, no patience for poverty, new age vending machines looting bodegas, fusion food trucks shaming sisters selling cocoa bread with butter and honey for the sin of gluten. The man selling oranges and cherries on the boulevard cannot compete with the new organic farmers market. Maybe it started with the ships. First, they came for our bodies, then they came for this land. Gave it a hashtag for a name: the New World. South Harlem became Soha. Spanish Harlem became Spaha. Columbia Heights, DC became Kohai. South Central Los Angeles became Sola over my dead body. Como se dice BS? This hipster hideaway, upper middle class, settler colony, bourgeois, urban safari. The ghetto has become a life hack. The homes we made in the barrel's bottom after white flight are now hashtag best kept secrets. And the blocks where black and brown boys learn to click, click, bang, and get stuck become Plymouth Rocks for millennials wanting more bang for their buck. Maybe it started with the ships. This must be how the ancestors felt when they saw sails in the distance. The pilgrims have found us again, and this time they say they don't need our bodies, just the warm streets we leave behind. Thank you.